On February the 4th, just 4 days after their dramatic victory in Yuma, the Beetdiggers were back on the basketball court at home against the Bennett Tigers, which stunned Brush early by scoring the game's first 8 points, but the Beetdiggers were able to settle in and close the gap to 2 following the opening 8 minutes at 17-15. In the second quarter, Bennett scored just 10 points, but the Diggers countered with only 8 and trailed by 4 at halftime, 27-23. With time to rest in the locker room, both offenses got cranked in the third quarter, particularly Bennett's, which outscored Brush 20-14 to lead 47-37. Then the Beetdiggers got the three-point shot going early in the fourth quarter, with Matt Ely hitting his shot and Jason Radke doing the same. Bryson Miller was able to nail a three as the Diggers closed to within 1 midway through the fourth. However, Bennett was able to pull away and won the game 69-58, scoring 22 points in the final quarter to Brush's 21. The Diggers did get 17 points from Bryson Miller, 16 from Matt Ely, and 10 from Greg Geno. Ely was able to nail 4 threes, Miller with 2, Jason Radke with 2, and Nick Mullen with 1. Brush was able to make 9 threes, but only 7 out of 8 from the line, while Bennett was 14 for 20. Brush's record on the year fell to 5-9. Brush's 15th game of the season took place on February 7th in Burlington against the Cougars. The Diggers established themselves early with a 19-5 lead after the opening 8 minutes. Then they outscored Burlington 18-10 in the second for a 37-15 lead at the break. And then the offense got cranking even more in the third.
Now a steal and a dribbling the length of the floor. Matt Ely lays it up and good. Ely with the steal and the basket. He has 19 points and a 52-26 lead as the Beetdiggers continue to double up the Cougars.
Both teams scored 22 points in the third, and the Diggers were up by 22 at 59-37. It was a much more defensive-minded fourth quarter as Brush outscored Burlington 20-16 and won going away 79-53. Ely led the Beetdiggers with 24. Bryson Miller pumped in 20 and Nick Mullen had 13. The Beetdiggers are now 2-2 in conference play after that win and 6-9 overall. After the Beetdiggers lost in Kersey to the Platte Valley Broncos on January 24th, they had another shot at them on February the 11th in Brush. The first quarter was extremely tight as the Broncos led the game 20-17 and then extended that advantage to 11 at the break, 41-30, after scoring 21 points in the second to Brush's 13. And then the Diggers' offense simply disappeared in quarter number 3, tallying only 8 points to Platte Valley's 16, and that raised the Broncos' advantage to 19. The Diggers did outscore Platte Valley 24-18 in the fourth and final quarter, but too little, too late, and they lost by 13, 75-62. The story in this game, Platte Valley's Adam Chaney, who scored 48 points and set a Colorado high school record with 13 three-pointers. Leading the Beetdiggers with 28 points was Nick Mullen. Bryson Miller contributed 13. The Diggers fell to 2-3 in league play, and their overall record in this 2002-2003 season was 6-10. Brush's next game was on February 14th in Ray against the Eagles. The Diggers had a pretty good first quarter, leading 16-11, and they were up at the break 38-34 after Ray outscored Brush 23-22 in the second quarter. An 18-13 advantage for Ray, however, in the third put them up by 1 going into the fourth. Back on January 28th, Brush scored just 8 points in the final stanza and lost by 8, and unfortunately in this game duplicated that effort while Ray scored 17 points to win the game by 10, 69-59. Dusty Chartier led the Eagles with 28, while Brush's leading scorer was Nick Mullen with 22. Bryson Miller was able to pump in 17. The Diggers fell to 2-4 in the Northern Plains Division of the Patriot League and 6-11 overall. After the Beetdiggers stunned the Indians in Yuma on January 31st, revenge was on the minds of the Indians as they traveled to Brush on February the 18th. Yuma did dominate the first quarter, leading 16-10, but the Beetdiggers then played some outstanding defense in quarter number 2, outscoring Yuma 15-9 to forge the game into a deadlock at the break, 25-25. Then both defenses took over in the third, while both offenses obviously struggled. The Beetdiggers outscored Yuma 13-12 to take a 38-37 lead going into the final quarter. Just as was the case 18 days earlier, the Diggers outscored Yuma in the fourth and final period, this time by an 18-14 count to win the game 56-51. Balanced scoring was the key, as Bryson Miller had 18 points, Matt Ely was one behind with 17, and Nick Mullen scored 14, as the Diggers improved to 3-4 in division play and 7-11 on the season. The Beetdiggers' toughest test of the season would come on Friday, February 21st in Bennett against a Tiger team that was not only 16-2, but on an 8-game winning streak. The Diggers trailed 11-9 after one quarter, but outscored the opposition 22-13 in quarter number 2 for a 7-point advantage at the break, 31-24. Then a 16-13 third quarter gave the Beetdiggers some breathing room for a 47-37 lead after 3. The Diggers did not play their best defense in the fourth and final quarter, as Bennett outscored Brush 25-19, but it was still good enough to give the Diggers the win 66-62. Bryson Miller led Brush with 23 points, Nick Mullen had 14, and Jason Radke was the third player for the Diggers in double figures with 11. With the victory, Brush improved to 8-11 on the season. Brush's opening round Patriot League District Tournament game took place at home against University on February 25th. After a first quarter that saw the game tied at 12, Bryson Miller scored to give the Diggers a 2-point lead. Nick Mullen was next.
Right wing baseball pass to Ely, right baseline. Bryson Miller, cross court Mullen. He'll pull up 12-footer. Good. Nick Mullen from Bryson Miller. Mullen on the board for the first time in the game. It's 16-12. Timeout for the Bulldogs. 30-second timeout.
The Diggers then extended the lead to 6 when they went to a freshman.
Outlet pass to Nick Mullen, high right. Mullen dribbling against Stewart. Over to Bryson Miller. Didn't want to take it. Now to Josh Gutierrez, three-pointer. Right for KG. And the Diggers lead by 9. Timeout University.
University, however, scored 7 of the last 10 points in the opening half, so Brush led only by 5 going into the locker room, 27-22. It was 32-30 Brush midway through the third when Bryson Miller nailed a jumper which began a 9-2 run, ending with this play.
Radke on the high left. The Diggers looking to take a 3-possession lead. Ely with a 3. Good! Straight away from Matt Ely. His second tray of the game. He's got 11. Brush by 9, 41-32.
It was 41-34 Brush at the end of 3. University got to within 6 early in the fourth when the Diggers responded.
In the corner to Radke, down low for Bryson Miller, pulls up, cross-court pass, Mullen, 12-footer up, good. That's a big shot by Nick Mullen, and a nice pass by Bryson Miller. Mullen with only 6 points tonight, but that's a big bucket. They're up by 8.
But again, University would not go away. They had the game down to 3 points at 49-46 when Jason Radke nailed 2 free throws. And then Brush's big man came through once again.
Down to 1:10 to go. Bryson Miller high left towards the baseline all the way. He's going to put it up, and he blew the layup. Rebound Miller off the glass and in, and a University foul, and that could seal the fate of the Bulldogs.
It did, 54-46 Brush. They go on to win the game 56-52 on an incredibly special day for head coach Jay Rudell, when his wife Natalie gave birth to a beautiful baby girl.
We played well enough to win and get out of here with victory, and we're real happy with that. We just played well tonight. There was no flow to the game. We were a little tight, I think, and so we got out of here, and that's all you want to do in that first round game. I had a lot of young kids playing that never played in a district game before, so we're happy with the score 56-52.
Bryson Miller was the only Digger in double figures with 22 points as they improved to 9-11 on the season and earned a quarterfinal playoff game with the Valley Vikings. The quarterfinal game of the Patriot League District Tournament took place on February 27th in Gilchrist against a Valley Viking team that was not only 17-3, but had defeated the Diggers earlier in the season. Brush got off to a disastrous first quarter start, getting outscored 17-5, and then were down 15 at the break at 29-14 after scoring just 9 second quarter points to Valley's 12. But then the Digger offense and defense got going in a humongous way in the third quarter with a 26-9 run for a 40-38 advantage. It was 49-47 Valley, however, with just under 3 minutes remaining when Bryson Miller made one of two free throws, cutting the Brush deficit to 1. The Vikings then committed a turnover, and it was Miller's turn all over again.
Radke to Miller, down low, all the way, puts it up and in! And a Valley foul! Holy mahungus! The Diggers are in the lead!
51-49 when Miller made the free throw, thus completing the three-point play. The Vikings, however, tied the game with 51.2 to go at 51 when you know who got the ball.
Bryson Miller on the high right, back towards the timeline, picks up his dribble. He might need a timeout, cross court to Jason Radke, high left, into Bryson Miller, lays it up, left handed in! Bryson Miller scores again! Radke with a feed, and the Diggers are up by 2.
53-51, Valley then missed a shot. Jason Radke was fouled, made a free throw, missed a second, so the Diggers led 54-51. The Vikings then missed a three-pointer, and seemingly Brush had a victory, but on the inbounds pass they committed a turnover, giving Valley another shot, while Valley missed another three-pointer, but the ball went out of bounds off of Brush, and with 0.4 of a second remaining, the Vikings had one more chance.
Derek Ortegon-Chacon will throw it in. The Beetdiggers are going to be right on top of him. Throws it in, George Chacon, three-pointer, it's no good! The Beetdiggers win! The Beetdiggers win! The Beetdiggers win the game! They're in the semifinals of the Patriot League District Tournament, 54-51 over the Valley Vikings.
So Jay Rudell's team rallies from a 15-point deficit to get the victory.
We made some adjustments. We came out and pressed. I wasn't too worried because we played so poorly. We were only 15 points down, and I know that sounds kind of strange, but I knew the type of kids we have, and they buckled down. They played great man-to-man defense for the most part. Once we got the lead, we got in the 1-3-1, and I knew it was going to be safe. We shoot good, great free throws, and I wasn't nervous at all, through it all. I just had a good feeling about it. I didn't like the way we played, don't get me wrong, in the first half, but they came out in the second half, did what I told them to do, and we got out of here, and they played a great game.
The Diggers saw their record move to 10 wins and 11 losses. Brush's semifinal clash in the Patriot League District Tournament would take place on the final day in February from the University of Northern Colorado in Greeley against the very talented Bennett Tigers. Unlike the night before when the Diggers played horribly in the first quarter, they played to a 14-all tie with the Tigers. However, Bennett exploded for 21 second-quarter points while the Diggers struggled with 11. And for the second consecutive night, Brush trailed by double digits at the break. This time the score was 35-25. It was 39-26 Bennett early in the third as they scored 3 of the first 4 points when Jason Radke made 4 free throws, and then the Beetdiggers hit the boards.
Left corner, Mullen steps in, fakes a shot, now puts it up from 13, no good. Strong side rebound, Geno nearly fouled, puts it up and in over Kevin Ross. 6 points for Geno. The Diggers now only down by 7.
2 more Radke free throws made it 39-34 Bennett when Bryson Miller then extended his range.
Near the timeline to Jason Radke. Up top to Mullen, now to Miller. 3, good! For Bryson Miller! Beetdiggers down by only 2 on a 10-0 run.
It actually was an 11-0 run, which became 13-0 thanks to 2 more Radke free throws, deadlocking the contest at 39. Defense then made it possible for the Diggers to actually grab the lead.
Demo in the backcourt to Andrew Thornton. Jump pass to Luke Barton. Dribbles towards the high right, and he is stripped from behind. Picked up by Miguel Gonzalez. Gonzalez ahead of the field now. Picked up, lays it up, and in! Oh, he stutter stepped, and then got by the Bennett defender. Bennett with 7 turnovers.
That completed a 15-0 Brush run. Bennett went back out on top 42-41 when Bryson Miller made 2 free throws, and it made it 43-42 Brush in the third quarter's waning seconds.
8 seconds to go. Healy on the high left doesn't want to take the 3 now to Bryson Miller. To Gutierrez, he'll take the 3. He'll make the 3! And that's the way the third period ends. Josh Gutierrez with a triple. Brush 46, Bennett 42.
But it was Bennett 48, Brush 46 with a 6-0 run early in the fourth when Bryson Miller once again got the basketball in his hands.
Healy, left corner for Mullen, back to Miller. He'll take a left wing 3. The Beetdiggers lead. Miller drills his second 3 of the game.
Bennett would not go away. In fact, they retook the lead at 52-50 when Jason Radke got aggressive.
Mullen now to Radke, dribbles all the way, up and under, up and in! What an incredible move by Radke, who slithered into the lane.
2 Scott Stemmo free throws gave Bennett an advantage once again at 54-52. Radke with 2 more from the charity stripe tied the game at 54. Bennett then took the air out of the basketball, trying for one final shot to win the game.
Stemmo to throw it in for Bennett to the left of the scores table. Gets it into Walden, hands it off to Bennett near the timeline. To Stemmo, I should say. Back to Walden, to Stemmo, dribbling high right. 6 seconds to go. Right corner, raw 3 in the air. No good. And the ball is tipped around. Taken by Bennett. Long shot up and no good by Walden. We go to overtime.
And it took a while for either team to score in the extra 4 minutes. But the Diggers did the honors first.
Geno with a rebound over to Bryson Miller. 2:12 to go. He pulls up for 15. The Beetdiggers lead. Miller hits that one on the left baseline.
And after Brush played excellent defense, they then grabbed a 2-possession advantage.
Healy dribbles towards the lane. He has to back it out. Does to Mullen in the right corner. Mullen double team. He's got to get rid of the basketball. Take the dribble over to Miller near the timeline. 1:03 to go. Brush leading by 2. Bounce pass to Healy. Takes the bounce all the way. Lays it up and in. Oh, a big dribble and shot by Matt Healy. The Beetdiggers up by 4. Assist by Bryson Miller.
The Beetdiggers outscored the Tigers 11-1 in the extra session to win the game 65-55, and for the second straight night, Jay Rudell's Diggers rallied from a double-digit halftime deficit.
When we were down only 10 this half compared to 15 last night, I was actually pretty darn happy again, and I knew our kids would come around. They just shot lights out in the first half, and I just had that feeling they would start easing up on that shooting percentage, and they did. And we rebounded real well again, and did things we needed to do to win the basketball game.
So the Diggers were in the championship game of the Patriot League District Tournament against the Platte Valley Broncos, evening their record at 11-11, and it was all about the free throw line as well. Bryson Miller, 23 points, 9 out of 10 from the stripe. Jason Radke with 16 points. He made 12 of 14 free throws. Playing their 4th game in 5 nights on March the 1st in the championship contest of the Patriot League District Tournament against the Platte Valley Broncos, which had defeated Brush twice earlier in the season, the Diggers came out sluggish in the opening 8 minutes, scoring only 4 points and trailing by 9. It got a little bit worse in quarter number 2, although the Diggers were more competitive, getting outscored 13-10, but still trailing 26-14. Platte Valley then used their running game and defense to put the game away in the third quarter with an 18-10 run and a 44-24 lead going into the fourth. It was then a 15-11 Brush fourth quarter, but it didn't matter in a 55-39 loss. Despite the setback, head coach Jay Rudell was not at all disappointed.
They came out and played a great game, Platte Valley did. We're tired. We've had 3 emotional games in a row. If you add up the overtimes and the 3-point win at Valley and the 4-point win with the University at home, we're tired, and we just didn't have the legs or the gas to get the job done tonight. And there's nothing wrong with it. The kids play a great tournament. They deserve the hardware they got. They deserve the seat that they got. They've proven over the last 3 nights that they're at one hell of a basketball team. I'm kind of proud of them.
Bryson Miller led the Diggers with 9 points. Their record dropped to 11-12, but the Diggers did clinch the 14 seed in the 32-team Class 3A state tournament.